A very good evening and a warm welcome to all present. We welcome you to the 55th edition of the International Film Festival of India, and we are very pleased to have with us the cast and crew of Swatantra Veer Savarkar. And before we begin, I wish to let all our friends know that this press conference is being live streamed so that film lovers and our friends in the media can also access all the proceedings remotely. We have with us Swatantra Veer Savarkar, which has been the jury's choice for the opening film of the opening feature of the Indian Panorama section. And I'm delighted to have with me on the panel, I have Randeep Hooda, who's the director, the actor, the writer and the co-producer of the movie. A man who has drawn many hats for this. I have Anjali Hooda, who plays Madam Bhikaji Kama. I have Jay Patel, who plays Shyamji Krishna Verma. I have Amit Sial, who plays Baba Rao. And I have Mrinal, who plays Madan Lal Dhingra.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I feel very fortunate that my movie, or our movie, is opening the 55th IFFI Indian Panorama. There was a lot of struggle while making this movie, like there was a lot of struggle in Savarkarji's life. I myself did not know much about him when I became a part of this movie, but in the process I learned a lot which I was not aware of. Most of us are not aware of because that's not a part of our public discourse, and I was quite shocked at the name calling that Mr. Savarkar has been suffering politically for so long. Just to bring about a certain sense of loss that we've had, that we've not acknowledged our heroes, and all across the world people celebrate their freedom fighters, and here we are maligning a man who gave up so much. Not just him, but his family gave up so much for the country. It's also, we are now our position in the world has improved a lot. Our positioning has improved, and that's not only because of our great diplomacy, but it is because that we are a very high-tech, mechanized, armed nation. We make weapons, and we also are now selling weapons to other countries, which is what Mr. Savarkar wanted. He always wanted India to be militarily strong because he felt that it was only because of strong military you can have a deterrent to war. All these things, he disagreed with Mr. Gandhi on his ahimsa, not because he was a violent man himself. It is because ahimsa did not leave an opening for even self-defense. So our image across the world कि एक गाल पे थप्पड़ मारो तो दूसरा गाल भी आगे कर देंगे, ये हमारे बहुत बड़ी सोच है, बहुत महान सोच है, पर ये सावरकर साहब बिल्कुल प्रैक्टिकल नहीं मानते थे. तो जो हमारे को मेरा इसमें सवाल उठाया है कि we've all been taught that we got our freedom only through non-violence. This is not that story. So this is the other part of the armed struggle, which was inspired from our first armed struggle against the British, which was in 1857. Mr. Savarkar wrote a book on it, which eventually then inspired a lot of freedom fighters, from Kanhare to Madan Lal Dhingra to Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, Khudiram Bose, and all these people were inspired to take up arms against the British, and finally they were not given their due. Clement Attlee, who was the Prime Minister at that time of Great Britain, which when we got our independence, said in his speeches many times that the main reason that they left India was because of Azad Hind Fauj.
And when I was to play Madam Bhikaji Kama, I really didn't know that she was a freedom fighter, and I just knew a Bhikaji Kama place in Delhi, and I didn't know it was after her name. And it is very shameful actually that at 50 I have to find out that such a big woman leader was existing, and I had no idea about it. And I would blame my history teaching in school. I would have never known about her till I did the role. I mean, it's not a nice thing to read about such big historical personalities after many years of independence. So I would say that this is an eye-opener, and as an actor, as a sister, and as a
She's my sister, by the way.
and a doctor, I'm very proud to be a part of this whole project, and I wish that more and more such projects are done by the film industry.
Jay, would you like to share your thoughts with our guests?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you everybody. Thank you for coming. About my character, so मेरा इन लोगों की तरह स्टोरी नहीं है. मुझे श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा का सब कुछ पता था, बचपन से पता था, और because थोड़ा फैमिली ने सिखाया हुआ था, because he was NRI and I live in New York City and हमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा की पता थी. उसकी सिर्फ 2 ही बुक है, एक पद्मश्री जिन्होंने लिखी हुई थी बुक, उसके ऊपर से मैंने थोड़ा स्टडी किया था. एंड रणदीप told me, so like don't prepare and don't try to ratta maro on it. Once you're gonna come on set, I'll let you know what you need to do. So this freedom fighter, Chota, I just want to give a brief like what happened. He was born in 1857. He died in 1930. उन्होंने अपनी अस्थियां को 100 साल तक बैंक में डिपॉजिट करके रखी थी जर्मनी में. when he died. इसलिए लगा कि जब मैं मेरी अर्थियां तो नहीं जा पहुंची, पर जब हम आज़ाद होंगे तब definitely someone's gonna take it there. And after 75 years, somebody got it from India and यहाँ वापस लेके आए उनको. So this kind of heroes, we already had a lot of heroes in history and we don't know anything about it. So ये बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है हमारे देश के लिए, हमारे नौजवानों के लिए और हमारे यंगस्टर्स के लिए कि ऐसी मूवी आए और हम कुछ उसमें से सीखें और न्यू जनरेशन को पास ऑन करें. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Pranal.
Good evening, everyone. So for me, it actually started with wanting to work with Randeep. You know, when the casting director called me and told me Randeep wants to meet you, I think that was exciting enough for me. But once I met him, he told me about the character. I, like all of them, also didn't have an idea who Madan Lal Dhingra was. But the more I got to know about Madan Lal Dhingra and Savarkar, also I spoke to my parents and they had an idea about who these people were. My grandfather is 97 and he's met Savarkar personally. So when I told him this, he was really excited and he just made me understand the gravity of the man and how he, how people saw him. So I mean, I had all the reasons to sort of jump onto this and I've been really fortunate that I was given this opportunity to play.
Sampal's book, and it was very interesting, and we did take a lot of inspiration from that. But then there's many other books that we read. There were archives, our history archives that we read, and there is a book by Dhananjay Keer that I read. There's books written by Savarkarji himself, a lot of material that he himself wrote, which was very interesting to hear it from the man straight up. And then there is Purandare's book, Mr. Purandare's book. So there were many such books and materials, and also there was the archival material and all that we found. And there were a lot of people who came forth to help us with the anecdotes and stuff like that. And my attempt was to not just show the people the movie, it was to make them feel that they're inside the movie. So I used a lot of techniques to do that, with like handheld cameras and breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. So to add to all this research, it was the kind of the taking and the sound design and the production design and costume design, which went into further detail of making it come alive, and the whole crew and the cast, they did a very fabulous detailed job.
Sir, so what was that process?
Well, I got cast in this movie as an actor first. I had no idea that I'll be ending up directing it and co-writing it and finally producing it. My first thing was that I don't look like him. So I'm a big Jat boy from Haryana and he's from Maharashtra and stuff like that. So I didn't look like him. So that was the biggest first challenge. So I was a bit iffy about it. But then I read books on him just out of interest. I was shooting in England and I was shooting in Punjab, and there were 2 projects that I was doing. Every night I kept reading about him. So I was very taken in by the man, and then slowly as things happen in life, I, due to many reasons, got the baton of a director, And before that, I had already become the co-writer of the movie with Utkarsh Naithani, whose contribution is very immense in the movie. And then slowly, this is how it started happening. I don't know whether if I had cast myself as an actor, if I was a director, but also being an actor, I think for me to direct movies with other people as the protagonist might be a bit tough, because as actors we are very vain people, and so I'll be doing a lot more direction, but mostly I'll be doing movies where it's an actor-director project. It's not just a director project. I don't think that'll take some time for me to do that. But yeah, so I don't know if you can suggest a better actor to play Savarkar. We'll remake the movie.
एक और सवाल था कि
Question?
सब
People always ask two questions. Ask one question. Sorry?
सब हीरोज के ऊपर
Yes. So I often looked at my monitor and said I could make a biopic on it, because I did a lot of studying on every character, because they don't come on screen for too long, but it was 1 or 2 lines or 2-3 scenes. I have to show them their personality, what it was, and it was truthful, and a lot of things they say in the movie were actually said by them, right? So first of all, I cannot make small movies. So I cannot make small movies on a lot of people. Each movie will involve a big production and all that. I think I've made a start as a director, like I have done as an actor. I have played whole plethora of roles, different characters and all that. So I would like to move on from this historical genre and go. I would like to direct an action movie next. So that will be the thing. But maybe I'll come around to it again and direct a movie on one of these. These characters that are sitting with me on the stage, and I hope they are in my good books. I'll cast them also. Andaman sequences were shot in Andaman. We got the permission through a letter through NFDC that we want to shoot a movie on that. Since it's a historical movie, they don't allow it in the cellular jail, but it was since Mr. Savarkar, even the airport is called the Veer Savarkar Airport. So they did allow us. I went to the Lieutenant Governor there of Andaman Nicobar Island. He was so helpful. He gave us a blanket permission to shoot. And we shot all the Andaman sequences there. In fact, I shot France also over there. The France sequence, the whole escape sequence. I didn't have the money to go to France. I did not even have the money to go to England. So the whole England portion is shot in Satya Studio in Mumbai. So I was a really frugal director. I was a very frugal director. I was very aware of the limitation of the money that I must have. So but Andaman really opened my eyes when first time I went there. I wrote these scenes in the movie sitting in a room in Andaman. But when I went to Andaman, I was like, what? I had to change so much from the geography, from the feeling of it. It's a haunting experience to go there. I don't know whether you've been there or not. And funnily enough, I'll tell you a funny anecdote. Whenever we were shooting, so the place was open for public as well. And the thing that I noticed the most, that there were a lot of newly married people, newly married couples who would come there, and I don't know for what reason they'd be visiting the jail. And usually the girls will ask, or the men will ask, to shut the woman inside the jail and lock it from outside and take a picture. That was very funny. I saw that hundreds of people doing it. M.K. Gandhi died of a bullet. The man of violence, Mr. V.D. Savarkar, fasted unto death. That was the biggest irony. Once I discovered that, I was like, what is this going on? आमरण अनशन बहुत लोगों ने किए, मरा कोई नहीं, सिर्फ सावरकर जी।
सर मेरा
उनके बहुत विचार थे, सभी लोगों के बहुत विचार थे, आपके भी पूरी जिंदगी में विचार थे, और वो बदलते रहते हैं, उनमें बदलाव आता रहता है, एक ग्रोथ आती रहती है। तो इस मूवी में मैंने यही दिखाया है कि सरकम कोई भी इंसान हो, वो अपनी परिस्थितियों का रिजल्ट होता है। तो मैंने कोशिश की है कि इस पिक्चर में उनके सर्कमस्टेंसेस दिखाऊं, जो आज हिंदुस्तान है, जिस नज़रिए से हम आज लोगों को देखते हैं और दुनिया को देखते हैं, वो नज़रिया आज से 100 साल पहले नहीं था जब हमें गुलाम देश थे। तो उन सब की वो बदलती रही। उनकी उनकी लिखाई बहुत ही खूबसूरत थी। वो बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सेंटेंसेस लिखते थे। वो सेंटेंस पढ़ना शुरू करो, जब तक खत्म करते थे तो दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ता था। तो इट वाज अ वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मैन। सो आई ट्राइड टू ब्रिंग दैट कॉम्प्लिकेशन to the screen, and what I learned from him the most was a simple thing, that his Hindutva, the way he defined it, that from Sindhu River to Sindhu, the Bay of Bengal, anybody who calls it their fatherland, their motherland, their ancestors' land, their land of their mother, and their land of their spirituality, is a Hindu, no matter what caste, what religion, or which place you belong to. So that is a very unifying thing, and I think his Hindutva, because he coined that term, is now being misinterpreted to bash and to support in both ways. I think we have to go back to what he was doing, and also he was doing it for independence. Today we are doing it for maybe our cultural identity. We should be proud of our cultural identity, and also, as I said earlier, that his militarification of our country was his biggest aim, and he was always critical of Pandit Nehru, because they said कि हमें आर्मी की जरूरत नहीं है। तभी हम चाइना वॉर में जब हमको पिटाई हुई, तो उसके बाद से जब देश बदलने लगा, तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें, और ये सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि उनके जाने के इतने सालों बाद आज भी उनके ऊपर जो वाद विवाद पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है, तो भाई वो आदमी कुछ ना कुछ तो सही करके गए होंगे। जो आदमी कुछ सही करके जाता है, उसी का ऐसे बैंड बजता है।
For me, I think it was unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't have that much time to research about Baba Rao, but then whatever little bit I started to research about after I got the part, I mean, he had researched enough about it. So and I think I made it very selfishly saying this, but I made it very easier for myself to just feel and explore what Baba Rao must be going through vis-a-vis Vinayak Savarkar and the family and everything and whatever he had researched. And I think it was plentiful, and then when you go on floor and you have a solid director behind you, and he had researched it so much, he co-wrote it, so he was actually breathing and living it for a very long time. And I remember, this is a funny thing, and I hope it makes you laugh, because it didn't make me laugh then, it's laughable now. I went to him one day and I said, listen Randeep, I think. He said, you don't think, I'll think for you. so that was the point. I said, okay, I won't think a lot, I'll just let him guide me. So he was my shepherd, and I think it was good enough.
Savarkar's character is the most unsung character, and he unfortunately died even before we got our independence. And though Vinayak Savarkar had become a politician, Baba Rao Savarkar stayed a revolutionary, and he died a revolutionary. He became very sick. Both the brothers were very sick because of Kala Pani. But the whole movie, the most unsung is Baba Rao Savarkar, who was in his brother's shadows. ये मुझे पिक्चर करते करते रियलाइज हुआ, अरे वो गोली से मरे और ये इन्होंने आमरण अनशन करके समाधि ली थी एक्चुअली सावरकर साहब ने। ये पिक्चर मेरे तो रेडार पे थी ही नहीं। जब एकदम से ये इस पिक्चर की बात उठी और मेरे पास एज एन एक्टर वो आए, तभी मैंने इस पे ध्यान देना शुरू किया था। मुझे पहले से ये सब चीज़ें मैं भी नहीं सोचता था, और आजकल लोग सोचते भी नहीं हैं। आजकल लोग बहुत बिजी रहते हैं, फ़ोन में बिजी रहते हैं, इस चीज़ में बिजी रहते हैं। तो नहीं, मैं किसी सोच के नहीं बनाई, पर जब मैं इसको बनाने लगा तो मैंने गांधी फिल्म दोबारा देखी, रिचर्ड एटनबरा की, और उसमें तो सावरकर जी थे ही नहीं। उसमें तो काली टोपी और खाकी कच्छों वालों को उन्होंने विलन बना दिया था कि इन्होंने बापू को खामखा मार दिया, राइट। तो तब जब मैंने वो देखी, सिर्फ यही नहीं, उसका मैंने टेकिंग स्टाइल देखा, बहुत ही स्टिल फ्रेम्स और बहुत ही लेजरली पेस्ड। तो मैं कहा, अगर अहिंसा वाले इंसान की पिक्चर ऐसी है तो हिंसा वाले की ऐसी होनी चाहिए। उसमें बहुत मूवमेंट होनी चाहिए, बहुत एक एंग्स्ट होनी चाहिए, जो कि मैंने इस पिक्चर में लाने की कोशिश की। जैसा लगना चाहिए, रियल जो इंसान थे उन जैसा लगना चाहिए, या मेकअप से हम वैसा उनको लगा सकते हैं। ये पहला क्राइटेरिया था। और फिर अमित इज़ अ वेरी गुड एक्टर। माय सिस्टर जो है, उनको मैं स्कूल में इनको स्टेज पे देख के मैंने एक्टिंग शुरू की थी, और मैं तो बोल रहा था कि इनको नहीं लेते हैं यार, ये नेपोटिज्म है, ये क्या है। मैं उस जोश में था उस वक्त। तो उसमें इनका स्क्रीन टेस्ट लिया और बहुत अच्छा किया इन्होंने। तो मैं कहा यार चलो अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हैं। ऐसे ही मृणाल वाज वेरी गुड, and Jay, my friend, he knew more about Shyamji than me, and I'd listen to him, and his I don't know whether you want people to know whether you have acted before or not.
I'll tell you something. So he called me 2:30 at the night. I was in New York. He got me up and he said like, "Hey, this guy, Gujarati guy, do you know Shyamji Krishna Verma? Anything about it?" ज़्यादा कुछ उसका है नहीं Google पे. So I told him A to Z about it, and that's how he got surprised. He said like, "How the hell do you know it?" And मैंने पूरा उसको स्टोरी बताया. So then he said like, "श्यामजी का रोल तो तू ही करेगा, because आधा से ज़्यादा तो तेरे को पता है, एक्टिंग में तेरे से करवा लूँगा." Like 1906 में इंडिया हाउस बाई किया था कैश में 6,000 पाउंड में श्यामजी कृष्ण वर्मा ने, और उसको क्रांति गुरु बोलते थे। और यहाँ से तिलक जी उनको चिट्ठी लिखते थे, और यहाँ से स्टूडेंट आते थे इंडिया से, और उनको वहाँ पूरी शिक्षा मिलती थी। और उनके भी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस थे कि मेरी इंडिया हाउस में जो रहेगा लंदन में, वो अंग्रेजों के लिए काम नहीं कर सकता। एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस अबाउट दैट। एंड कैरेक्टर के अंदर रेडी होने में, फॉर एग्जांपल क्या, आई रियली वांट टू अप्रिशिएट लाइक रेणुका एंड पंकज एंड आवर एंटायर टीम। 4-4, 5-5 घंटे हमारे लिए, लाइक 2 मिनट का भी हमारा शूट नहीं होता था, फिर भी लाइक वी हैव टू गेट अप 5 AM हमको रेडी करते थे। एंड दे मेक श्योर कि 100 साल पुराने लोग कैसे कपड़े पहनते थे, कैसे होने चाहिए, कैसे दिखने चाहिए। तो बहुत सारा वर्क उन्होंने भी दिया है इसके अंदर।
दोनों कैरेक्टर में जिनका आपने नाम लिया है, और इनके ऊपर मैंने काफ़ी विचार भी किया है, काफ़ी पढ़ाई भी की है। अभी मैं दोबारा 2 साल पिक्चर को किसी को कमिट करके कुछ और ही बन जाना काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट होता है। पर मैं इन चीज़ पे सोच कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बिरसा मुंडा और अपने जो एसमीज, हाँ, वो बहुत ही उन्होंने भी किया था। पर क्या है ना, जैसे स्पोर्ट्स की बायोपिक्स होती हैं, उनकी सबकी एक ही कहानी होती है। अंडर प्रिविलेज परिवार से आए हैं, फिर मुश्किल से कंपटीशन में जाते हैं, फिर माता पिता अगेंस्ट होते हैं, ये होते हैं, फिर हार जाते हैं, फिर कैसे दोबारा वो करके रेड टेप में दोबारा सिलेक्शन करके एंड में जीत जाते हैं, सब ताली बजाते हैं। तो बायोपिक्स का, जो हिस्टोरिकल बायोपिक्स का भी ऐसे मैंने कोशिश की है सावरकर की मूवी में कि मैं उनको एक नरेशन ना डालूं, एक कहानी बोलूं नहीं, दिखाऊं। तो काफ़ी उसके लिए एक नया तरीका अगर मैं अपने दिमाग में ला पाऊँ उस स्टोरी को बताने का, तो ही मैं उसको अटेम्प्ट करूँगा। पर मेरी बहुत रुचि है इन चीज़ों में, बिकॉज इतने सारे लोग हैं जिन्होंने दूर दराज के इलाकों में भी अंग्रेजों का विरोध किया था। पर मेरा सबसे, उसीलिए तो मैं इतना उत्तेजित था इस मूवी को लेके कि हमें आज़ादी 3-4 लोगों ने नहीं दिलाई है, हजारों लोग थे, पर वो 3-4 लोग ही पोस्टर बॉय बन के रह गए। और मैं इसको एक अन्याय मानता हूँ। तो सबको न्याय मिलना चाहिए, सबको अपनी जगह इतिहास में, भारत के इतिहास में, भारत की स्वतंत्रता की लड़ाई में मिलनी चाहिए। द सेम वे, सो यू कैन नॉट सी अनदर पर्सन वंस यू आर लॉक्ड इन। जब पहले दिन वहां पे कैदी जाता था तो लॉक करके चाबी अंदर फेंक देते थे, और वो सारी रात बेचारा हाथ लगा के उसको खोलने की कोशिश करता था, वो नहीं, वो टॉर्चर होता था। राइट, आपको एक ही टाइम पे, वहाँ पे टॉयलेट्स नहीं थे, तो एक ही टाइम पे आपको दिन में एक ही टाइम वहाँ जाता था, पानी लिमिटेड मिलता था। और कोलू की जब सज़ा मिलती थी तो आपको एक इतने से कप पानी में पूरा दिन निकलना है, और कितने तो उसमें लीटर आपको तेल निकालना होता था। हमने चला के देखा, खुद बनाया है, कोलू चला के देखा, हमारी सबकी बैंड बज गई, इतना सा तेल नहीं निकला। सो दैट काइंड ऑफ फिजिकल टॉर्चर विदाउट, उनको मार थी खाने की, सैनिटेशन की और आइसोलेशन की। राइट, ऊपर से मच्छर बहुत थे और वो थे, और आप ऐसे अकेले पड़े पड़े आप पागल हो जाए। और उनको आइसोलेशन सेल में डाला जाता था, जो अंधेरी सेल होती थी, 6-6 महीने आदमी मर जाए। इनह्यूमन टू डू दैट, बट अंग्रेजों ने ये किया। और ये सब देख के, और उसके बाद जब सावरकर जी को ये लगे, सावरकर जी अपने आप को बहुत ही इन्फ्लुएंसर समझते थे, जो वो थे भी। तो उन्हें लगने लगा कि मैं यहाँ जेल में सड़ रहा हूँ और मर जाऊंगा, मेरा कोई योगदान ही नहीं रहेगा वहां पे। तो उन्होंने अपने लिए ही नहीं, सबके लिए उन्होंने बेल पिटीशन लिखनी शुरू की, जिसको माफीनामा बोलते हैं। वो एक होता था, उसकी जो लैंग्वेज है, मेरे पास गांधी जी की भी लेटर्स हैं जो सेम लैंग्वेज यूज की हुई है, नेहरू जी की भी लेटर्स हैं सेम लैंग्वेज यूज की हुई है, राइट। मेरे पास सबकी सो कॉल्ड बेल पिटीशन लेटर्स हैं, पर मैं किसी को नीचा नहीं दिखाना चाहता था, मैं सिर्फ इनकी बताना चाहता था। तो उन्होंने साम दाम दंड भेद, आप क्या करोगे? आप 27 साल के हो, आपको 50 साल की कैद होगी, उनको 1960 में छूटने वाले थे वो। तो आप क्या रहोगे? एक तो आदमी हो कि वहां पढ़ के डिस्पेयर में पड़ा रहे, मर जाए, खुदकुशी कर ले, और एक आदमी हो कि साम दाम दंड भेद करके कैसे भी यहां से बाहर निकला जाए। तो सावरकर उनमें से थे। उन्होंने कितने लोगों की बेल पिटीशन लिखी जिनको वहां से छोड़ा गया, और वो हर चिट्ठी में लिखते थे, इफ इंक्लूडिंग माई नेम इज holding you back from this mercy of releasing these people from this hell, please exclude me from it. यहाँ तक वो लिखते थे, but those things are not highlighted, those things are not put forth to people, and political लालचना is put on him. अरे माफी, अरे यार कभी एक बार जाके देखो वहाँ पे। And vis-a-vis the jails, गांधी साहब आगा खान पैलेस में रहते थे, राइट। नेहरू साहब अलग उसमें रहते थे, उनके पास सब प्रोविजंस थी, बावर्ची तक थे, गोट के मिल्क की आइसक्रीम बनती थी, क्या क्या बताऊं मैं आपको। तो अलग अलग ट्रीटमेंट किया गया, क्योंकि ये लोग सशस्त्र क्रांति वाले थे, इन लोगों को ज्यादा खतरनाक माना जाता था, और जो अहिंसा वाले थे उनको खतरनाक नहीं माना जाता था उनके साथ, इसीलिए उनके साथ नेगोशिएशंस होती थी, और इनको देश से काट के काला पानी या मांडले या यमन भेज देते। और चार्ल्स और रंगरसिया, सरबजीत, ऑल दीज अदर मूवीज दैट आई हैव डन, वो भी मैं नहीं हूँ। मेरे दिमाग में वो इमेज अपनी बिल्कुल नहीं है। मेरे दिमाग में मेरी इमेज ही सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम। अगर आप ऐसे काम करते हैं और इस तरह की एक्टिंग में विश्वास रखते हैं, तो आपकी सेल्फ इमेज तो बहुत ही कम हो जाती है। तो मेरे को बिल्कुल भी मेरे दिमाग में वो इमेज नहीं थी। पर मेरा तो सिंपल मामला है, किसी भी एक्टर को अगर वो किसी भी रियल पर्सन पे बेस्ड रोल कर रहा है, तो सबसे बेसिक चीज तो उस जैसा दिखना ही होता है ना, राइट। अब मैंने बहुत वाले पुलिस के भी बहुत रोल किए, पर मेरा एक रोल दूसरे पुलिस वाले रोल जैसा नहीं है, बिकॉज ना आप पुलिस के रोल करते हो, आप एक इंसान के रोल करते हो जो पुलिस की नौकरी करता है, राइट। तो इसी तरह से आप डिफरेंसेस बनाते हो। So I'm very grateful that you like my transformation in this one. So when I saw this, when I saw his photographs, I talked to Renuka Pillai, who is my makeup artist and who's done all those transformations with me, and so we decided that okay, you've got big cheekbones, you've got a jawline, and so I think it will pop out. Then my sister, who is an internal medicine doctor and who specializes in all this, she then advised me the diet, the exercise, and all the things that I have to do. And then we start on that journey, and then one day we hope. But I found one thing as an artist or as an actor, when you keep thinking in a certain way and looking at the photographs or whatever material is available of a person, you automatically start looking like them. I don't know how it happens, when it happens, but it happens.
Thank you, Randeep. Once again, I thank all the members of the cast and the crew who are not here today of Swatantra Veer Savarkar. I'm so grateful for the anecdotes that you shared, and I'm sure that the message of the film will be conveyed even better to the audience, to our people through the media here today, thanks to the discussion that we had and the rich insights that we received from all of you. Thank you once again.
Thank you for